Okay, I got a clutch off a 1997 Arctic Cat ZRT 600. We're just cleaning it here. Here's what we're pulling off now is the weights. We need to get all this grime off and everything like that. How you take the cover off. This will be over like that. The cover goes on, make sure you mark what I do. Wherever the numbers are, I just scribe it in on like the casting of the body. The clutch. Good, put the cover on, and then as you take the bolts out, just hold pressure on this, and then take it off once the bolts are out. And then for the weights, I'm using a 1/8 little bit, and an Allen wrench with a 3/8 wrench to pull the bolts off. Mine were a little loose, they go back and forth. So I'm gonna get that all fixed up, get that pulled apart, and I'll cut back to that. Okay, when you get this bolt free, this is gonna come out. Then your weight's gonna be free in there. You take your weight out, inspect that, and there's gonna be these two little shims down in there. Looks like a spacer. See how they're coming out? You just kind of grab it from the back down there, like that. Tilt it up, and it should come right out. Put those together. First, what you want to do, you want to put this bolt in here and see if there's any play on your weights. This one has very minimal, so we're good to reuse it. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up all this belt material, get everything cleaned up. What my problem was, the chain case blew, and I noticed that the sheave was sticking a little bit on the shaft. So we're gonna clean up the shaft, get everything ready to rock and roll, and get it back on the sled. Okay, we got the clutch all cleaned up. Weights all ready to rock and roll, cleaned up. We're gonna go ahead and put these weights back in. What you wanna do, you wanna put a dab of Loctite on these nuts whenever you put them on. And you want basically the head of the bolt, the way the engine spins, you want the head of the bolt facing the way the engine spins. That way, whenever the engine's running, the bolt can't fall out. So just follow my steps and you'll be good to go. We're using a 7/64 Allen key and a 3/8 wrench to get them off, and then I use an 1/8 inch bit, 1/8 bit to run them in and run them out with the drill if you need to. So we're gonna get to putting them weights back in and getting this clutch all put back together. Go ahead and get the little shim piece in there. This guy. Go ahead and put it in there just like that. Then you want to put your weight in. And a bolt. I'll go ahead and get that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pop this weight in. We already got the shim in there. So go ahead and fish this thing in. Drop it in place. Take our bolt. Start the bolt. Move the weight back a little bit. Doing this one-handed here, so bear with me. Right there. Want everything to be clean so it slides right through like this. Then we'll go ahead and put a dab of blue Loctite on here. Dab of blue. You can go ahead and throw another one. Okay, now to press this all back together, you're supposed to have a jig, but you can get away with either one of you pushing it down and having a buddy running like bolts in on either sides, which that's what I'm probably gonna end up doing, or I'm just gonna make a jig where I push it down, hold it there, and put something right here, and just use the press to keep pressure on it while I get the bolts in. So you can do whatever, get the tool, have a buddy help you, or make your own tool, whichever one works for you. But I'll cut back to wherever I have this clutch together, and then we'll throw it on the sled. Okay, the primary clutch, I had my buddy Terry push it down and hold it compressed, and I ran the bolts in evenly, so everything's good. You can push on it, no binding, everything's all clean, so it's ready to get put back on. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the secondary clutch. I have to take a shim out of here because my belt deflection was too loose, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. You get your 3 bolts out, you wanna mark basically this peg and this peg, so when you put it back together, you're going to twist it and then line that up and compress it and hold that down and then run them screws back in. So Just make sure you mark that so it goes back the other way you pulled it off. Make sure you know what hole the spring is in. We're gonna go ahead and take this off. Set that to the side. All these look good. These are actually replaceable, so the helix things are good. The spring just pops right out, and then you can go ahead and deep clean everything. That's what we're gonna go ahead and do. Okay, for the secondary clutch, you're gonna have your timing mark right here. That line. When you're all said and done, that line should line up with that on the back side, as it does with the front side. Sorry about my hands, I was painting the exhaust. But yep, just line those up and you'll be good. And as you're putting this together, when you put your helix back on, leave these finger loose. Like, don't snug them up, just leave them so they're like cutting her away from bottoming out. Put this thing back on, and then after you put that back on the outer faceplate, you go through and snug these up. That's what the service manual states. Basically, it's just so this thing doesn't sit in a spot where it's not rotted on these rollers right here. Them things. So just like I said, leave these about finger tight whenever you're putting this faceplate on. Once you get this faceplate on all tight, go ahead and snug these back down. Okay, when putting your clutch on, you want to have this nylon spacer that drops right down inside there just like that and sits in there. And then this one will get right in front of that one and kind of keep itself right in place. And then you put your clutch on the crank and then go ahead and run your bolt through. Okay, for the primary clutch, torque that to 50 to 55 foot-pounds. Secondary, put blue Loctite on the bolt and torque that to 18 to 22.5 foot-pounds. And just like that, it's all put back together, ready to rip.